Good morning, Kitchen Witches. This is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. I'm Chef Lisa, editor and chief of A Chef's Grimoire magazine. And we're going to pick one card. That's going to be everything you need to know. Period. Done. Moving on. So we're going to shuffle, see what that card is. And while we're shuffling, please do check out achefsgrimoire.com. That is where you'll find all the information for the magazine. It's a quarterly magazine, and it does exactly what we're doing today. Picks cards, learns about the card, and then goes into the kitchen and cooks with it. Right? You get all the recipes. It's really quite fun. So what is our card for today? Ready? The Tower. Dun, dun, dun. The Tower. All right, well, we got to have the Tower sometime, right? We can't always get the Fool. We can't always get the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it's the Tower. So this is a major arcana. The most feared card in the deck. No, it's not death. Death is actually rejuvenation. The Tower is when it all goes south. The carpet is ripped from underneath you. It's unexpected and it just collapses, whatever that is, right? It could be a relationship. It could be a car crash, God forbid. It could be a house fire, God forbid, right? It's big stuff. And the Tower is there to tell you that what was built that is now going away was on rocky foundation. It wasn't built on a solid enough foundation to withstand time. And more building on top of it. So, when you think of people having these moments, or even yourself, right? You're like, what did I do to deserve this, really? But you really have to think back to how this thing came to be in the first place, right? So my car example, right? You get into a car crash. Maybe you've been driving irresponsibly for quite a long time. Maybe you've been weaving in and out of traffic and, or following too close to somebody, or, doing things that make you feel good in the moment, but really are dangerous in the grand scheme of things on the road. Okay? Maybe. So a car crash is kind of inevitable, but for you, it might be the wake-up call to say, you know what, I need to be much more cautious on the road, right? So that's one example. Another example. What was another one that I said? A house fire. So maybe there's been problems within the house that you may or may not have known of, right? Maybe if it could be a space heater, right? It's keeping you warm in the winter. Maybe your heat, or something with the heat in the house and the way that the house is heated. I'm not sure how it's heated, but say something went wrong a while ago and you didn't have the money to get it fixed. So now you have a house full of space heaters heating the home or the rooms that you're in. But the space heaters are very problematic in that they do cause fires. And maybe that's what happened. And you just think back and say, well, if I had just maybe borrowed some money or gotten that thing fixed, we wouldn't be here today, right? So it's these things that just happen. But they usually have an underlying cause of why. And it's usually because they were built on a rocky foundation, right? So if you know something is wrong and you keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, don't fix whatever is wrong, it's going to crumble, right? So that's what the tower is here to remind us about. It just puts everything back into perspective. Because with this being a major arcana, the card that follows it is the star. And the star is all about becoming hopeful again. The star is the night after all this happens and just the silence. It's like a big storm, and then the storm goes away and it's silent, right? It's that calm after the storm, not before the storm. It's after. And it's now, okay, this is gone. So what is going to fill this void? Because it leaves a huge void, right? If it's a car crash, your car's gone. If it's a house fire, your house is gone, or at least part of it, right? So what's going to fill that void? Are you going to rebuild, or are you going to move? Are you going to get a new car? Are you going to stop being so careless on the road and replace that with letting people, I don't know. But, right? So something is going to fill the void. What is that? And with the star, you have brand new hopes and dreams for the future to fill those voids with something that's going to work, that's going to be more stable foundation to build upon. Hopefully, right? You don't want the tower happening more than one time in your life. So hopefully you don't have to even think about this card today. But we do want to bring the card into the kitchen. Or, you know what? If you are willing to bring it into your day, maybe you fix that thing that's been a problem that may cause some of these examples that we're talking about. Maybe today when you go out on the road, you leave a little extra time for yourself so that you can not floor it when the light turns green, or weave in and out of traffic just to get ahead. You're okay with staying within traffic or within the line of 2 paces back. I'm not going to say 3, which is what they would hope for, but 2 paces back, right? Not on top of the bumper, but 2 paces back on the other car, and just listen to your music and be okay with it, right? You have plenty of time to get to where you're going. So those are things to think about today, right? Because it's going to catch up with you. If you're reckless, or if you push limits on things that should be repaired, it's going to catch up with you. And it's going to catch up with you at the times that you least would want them to happen. So do it now. Get it done. Right. Build a steady foundation. So now, moving into the kitchen with this card, there are major tower moments within the kitchen. And if you're new to cooking, you're going to have more than most, right? But you learn with every single one. So I'm going to get a little creative with this one. I am going to give you ideas of what would be challenging things to prepare. And if they don't work, how to fix them, right? So we're going to start with hollandaise sauce. Right. Most people love a good hollandaise over a piece of seared salmon or over a poached egg, right? In morning for breakfast. So hollandaise is not too difficult to build, but if it breaks, which means that it becomes either coagulated and or never becomes thick, it just is runny, here's how you fix it. So first of all, to make a hollandaise is nothing more than egg yolks, a little lemon juice, and butter. Some sea salt, pretty much that's it, a little water. You get yourself a container that maybe like a quart deli container, and an immersion blender. This is the easiest, most foolproof way to make it. You melt your butter on the stovetop. Into the deli container, you're going to put your egg yolks, your lemon juice, a little bit of water. Depends on how much you're making, so I can't really give you ratios, but a little bit of water and sea salt. And the butter is now melted. It's in the pot that hopefully it has a little edge so it won't pour on itself, but pour into what you're doing. If not, then use a measuring cup. Pour it from the pot to the measuring cup. You're going to turn your immersion blender on, and you're going to leave it at the bottom of the deli container on, so it's already processing the egg yolk, the lemon juice, and the sea salt and water. Then you're going to slowly add the hot butter. The hot butter is going to cook the egg, but not hard boil it, so it's going to gently cook it so that it stays creamy, but the yolks are going to thicken everything up to be a beautiful spoonful of hollandaise that just glides over what you're spooning it over and doesn't run off of it. It attaches itself, but yet is loose enough to cascade over the sides. Delicious, right? Easy, you think. Until this happens to you, which is it congeals. If it congeals, then you want to add a little water. Keep the machine running and just keep adding a little water at a time until it becomes smooth again, right? That's called a broken sauce. When it starts to, the eggs start to either scramble or it just gets lumpy, right? It's a broken sauce. Another way to break a sauce is when the butter starts to stay at the top and not emulsify through, so it's greasy at the top. To fix the greasy sauce, you add another egg yolk, right? Or if it's not becoming thick, add another egg yolk, right? The egg yolk is what makes hollandaise thick, right? So if it's not thick enough, add another egg yolk. That's it. Save your whites. Maybe you make an egg white omelet another day, or a meringue or whatever, but you can save them, and you can even freeze them if you didn't know. Just mark how many egg whites are in the container so you know for the next recipe. So that's how you fix a hollandaise sauce. If it's broken in congealing, add water, keeping the machine on until it smooths itself out. If it's not getting thick, add an egg yolk. Keep the machine running and it will get thicker, right? You're going to hold it in a water bath. So the pot or the deli container you made the hollandaise sauce in, put it into a pot that has water that comes about a third of the way up. Very, very warm, like just warm, barely warm. And that's going to hold your hollandaise until your eggs are poached and your toast is toasted and your salmon is seared, whatever you're going to use it with. You can hold it on the back of the stovetop for about an hour, maybe, yeah. And then you need to keep whisking it really, really well, or immersion blend it again to bring it back. Done. Hollandaise. Tower moments happen, especially with that, but that's how you fix it. Moving on to lunch, we're going to make a caramel glazed pork. So you need to make caramel. This is not as easy as you'd think. So when I first made caramel, I didn't realize that you're not supposed to stir it. Because if you stir, and what happened to me is it looks beautiful, I started to stir it, and then it all clumped up, going back to being sugar. I was like, what did I do wrong? Well, stirring. So caramel is literally sugar and water, period, right? There are foolproof ways of making it where you add a little corn syrup, that will help, or water, that will help. But the whole process is done by swirling your pan, not stirring. No utensils required. So you put the sugar into, I use a nice wide pan so that it has surface area. And then you add the water and whatever the recipe says ratio-wise. Or people can make caramel with just sugar, but I like to add the water. I think it helps a little bit. So now you're swirling the pan, and it takes a while, guys. Caramel, from the time you put the sugar in to the time it starts to turn a little brown, is maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's a while. But you're swirling the whole time over medium to high heat. And the thing about it is you want to watch it because it's going to go from that gorgeous golden brown to black in a second. The other thing people do is they keep a bowl of water off to the side with a paintbrush or a silicone basting brush. And they swirl and they take that basting brush and run it along the sides of the pan. And what that does is any of the sugar that goes up on the sides of the pan won't stick there. Instead, the water is going to bring it back down into the caramel. Not a necessary step, but it helps, right? If you wish to do that. I think if you're doing it for the first time, concentrate on just swirling the pan. Don't worry about painting the sides with water. So now, in swirling, you're going to see that it's going to caramelize here, but not here. So that's why you got to keep it moving in the pan so that it evens out. Get yourself a little white plate and a spoon. And what you're going to do is when the caramel reaches what you think is the right color, take the spoon, put it in, put it on the white plate, and the white plate will tell what the color really is. Because you might be doing it in a nonstick pan and therefore it's black at the bottom and you can't really see the color. So a little white plate with a spoon helps, and then you see the color. The second it's at the color you want it, pull it from the stove and use it either right away. In this caramel pork recipe, we are going to pour it into a little dish off to the side. We're going to add a little soy sauce and rice vinegar. And then we're going to stir fry our pork with veg if you wish, and add the caramel with the soy sauce and the vinegar. And stir fry it, serve it with rice. It's delicious. But the caramel is the hardest part. So if it becomes congealed, right, say, you know, you forgot it on the stovetop, it turns black. There's no hope for that. You got to restart it. But the water is going to save the day. So if it starts to kind of turn back in, recrystallize, keep swirling as vigorously as you can and add water, as you know, a little bit at a time, and keep swirling, keep swirling, keep swirling, keep swirling. It'll come back. If you stir it by mistake, it's unlikely it's going to come back. So it's the swirl, right? But if it starts to get a little recrystallized, a little water helps, right? So that's how you repair caramel. But do pull it from the stove the second it's at where you want it to be, because it'll keep cooking and then it'll turn black and it won't be any good. Right. So that's lunch, or that's, well, what would be lunch? For dinner, okay, many of us do this. We oversalt our meat. So how do you fix it? Well, there's a couple things you can do. One, you're tasting as you go, so you know it's a little too salty. Say it's a beef stew, and it's too salty. So there's a couple things you can do. You could, if you really wanted to, take all the meat out and rinse it and then put it back into the soup. Doubtful you're going to want to do that. So we're going to want to add something that's going to offset that saltiness. If your stew doesn't have potatoes in it yet, throw potatoes in, because potatoes love salt and they'll go and suck up all that salt, and then it'll be better. Another way to fix it is maybe adding a shot of cream or sour cream. Say it's a chili or a Mexican stew. You can do that and make it a creamier stew that'll offset the sweetness or the saltiness. The last thing that I can recommend is acid. So either vinegar or lemon juice or lime juice. Squeeze it in there, and that again will offset the saltiness. So those are the ways to repair something that's a little too salty. Either rinse it, put cream or a sour cream or a yogurt or something like that if the meal is accepting of that, or the acid, a vinegar or citrus. Yeah, it helps. And you could do, so that I was thinking barbecued corned beef. So you buy corned beef out of season, it's dead cheap, and you can put it in your crock pot, but you gotta rinse it first, because if you don't, it's gonna be way too salty. And then you douse it with barbecue sauce, and it's delicious. The barbecue sauce is sweet, so that's the other way to fix, is to add sugar. But if the dish doesn't call for it because it's something that should be savory, it's hard to fix it with sugar. So that's why I'm giving you the other options, either something creamy, something acidic, or rinsing it if you can. And that's it. That's Tower Moments fixed in the kitchen. So with that, please fix things as you go. Make sure that they're not going to bring you tower moments in the future. And nourish yourself. You're the most important person ever. So nourish yourself and nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. See you tomorrow.